everybody. Okay, so right now I'm getting ready to leave to go to the kitchen. I have an event tonight at Harvest Moon Orchard in North Salem. I really never have events at night, so this is kind of cool. So all the Pop-Tarts are already baked, they're already packed away, so I have to go and do the cookies and the brownies. Harvest Moon is really cool. It's an apple orchard located in North Salem, New York, and you can go during the fall, pumpkin pick, apple pick. They have live music. It is completely packed. They have a farm store. You can get lunch. And then during the winter, they have a light show that you can do a walk through. And then now during their spring seasons, what they usually have is like some pop-ups here and there. And then they'll do different live music events. Tonight is a raw oyster bar. Mount Kisco Seafood's coming up and doing just a raw fish tasting. And then 10 Mile Distillery, a little up the way. It's past Dover Plains. They're coming down to do a tasting from their distillery. So yeah, the whole thing is going to be really cool. And then I'm the dessert. I feel like I have to really stay track on my timing today because I'm so used to just doing everything like late the night before and then going to sleep and waking up and going to events, where today my event is on the same day that I'm baking. I think I'm just nervous though because it's just cookies and brownies I'm doing today. My cookie dough has been already hydrating for 2 days, so that's what makes like a really nice kind of crunchy on the outside, gooey on the inside cookie. So yeah, it's easy. I got this. So let's go. I'm in Beacon, but before I go do my own baking, I am stopping at All You Need. It is a bread place that's on the main street, and it is so good. They have some of the best bagels that I've ever had. They have really great empanadas, they have knishes, they have breads. It is phenomenal. And usually when I get to the bakery, it's earlier than when All You Need is open. So sometimes like I can't really take a break and go get their food, but when I can make it at a time before the bakery, when this bakery is open, I always stop. So over here I have my everything bagel, and then I forgot that there's a $5 minimum for credit cards. So over here I also got a chicken empanada, and their empanadas are phenomenal. Just everything from this place is so good.
But sometimes he does have a friend there. Playing in the front with that other band that she's in.
She's so cute. Good girl.
There's going to be a ton of people that
The Harvest Moon event ended up being so good. I sold everything out. As you can hear, my voice is a little raspy just because it was loud in there. I had to talk really loud. I was talking constantly, but it was really, really cool. Harvest Moon's an awesome place. And when everything was done, the guys from Mount Kisco Seafood made me just like a little small seafood platter for me. It was all so amazing. The tuna was so fresh. One thing about this industry is I love the connections that I've made so far. Everybody is so nice. It's just such like a camaraderie. But yeah, I made a lot of cool connections. I met a lot of really nice people, and I'm really tired. But today I have to go bake again, and it's not too much. That was my big event for the weekend. Usually I don't have Friday events. I have Saturday and Sunday events. So since I had a Friday event, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna, keep the weekend off, kind of go in, bake for the store, and then I'm gonna do some private orders and deliveries, and some people are doing pickups. So yeah, that's my day today so far. It's a rainy day, perfect baking weather, and can kind of take things slow, which is really nice. Really exciting things happening. Also, after I'm going to the hospital because my cousin just had a baby. I'm the godmother, and I'm going to go visit her. So, yeah. Okay, so fast forward, it's Sunday, and I never actually filmed anything that day that I was baking. I got to the kitchen yesterday, and I just started. I never filmed anything. Sometimes it's a lot when you're trying to do a million things at once. So I'm home now, and my friend wants cinnamon buns, so I'm going to make her some. So I just went to Harvest Moon to get some eggs, and look how cute. One's broken, but that's okay. But look, they have the blue eggs. So sweet. I also got these beets from there. They grow everything on their own farm, and then they transport it to the farm store. So I try to buy local whenever I can. I feel like the stuff is so much better. The taste of it, everything. Hey, hello, we are home in my kitchen, and we are going to make some sweetie buns today for my friend.
Cinnamon rolls were such a success. My friend and her family absolutely loves them, and I'm so happy they're doing so well. With all of my recipes that I do, I make everything up, and I did not go to culinary school. I know I've said that before in my videos, so I'm really just kind of making up things as I go along, and I'm so happy that it works out. But today I am doing some photos because Easter is coming, and I have a few posts. Ever since I got a little bit busier, it's harder to stay consistent through all of my social medias. Okay, so I'm going to show you all my setup, what I do for photos. I feel like I get so many compliments on my Instagram and how my photos are laid out and the lighting, and everything that I do is just taken by an open window. I have a glass door in my house that I literally just put everything in front of, and it creates beautiful lighting. It's easy. I don't need to really do a ton of editing. So that's really my secret. It really just things under a nice open bright light. I'm not a photographer by any means. I'm just an amateur at all of this, and these are the things that I find that helps me, that keeps my marketing costs down, because I can't always pay for a photographer, so I have to do it myself. This is the setup for my shot today. As you can see, my door is over here and it's a glass door, so the lighting just gets really nice. So I have my bunny shaped Pop-Tart, I have a chocolate chip cookie, and this is actually a tea set from when I was a kid. There's a lot more pieces to it, and my mom gave it to me thinking that I could use it in my advertising posts, and I feel like it looks so cute. So this is what I'm doing today. I'm gonna get some videos. I have milk in here. I'll just get a video of me pouring the milk into the cup, and then yeah, that's about it. That's really kind of what goes into the background of my posts. This is the cover of the tea set, and you could just tell how old it is. The price is actually still on here. This was $12.99. And think I'm gonna be 34 years old, and my mom must have bought this when I was little. I have to ask her exactly when she bought this, so it's pretty. But everything is intact. I put some of them over here. So yeah, it's a pretty old set, but they're still in beautiful shape. So if you've gotten this far into the video, thank you so much. Sweetie Pies is really starting to become just something that is teaching me so much of how to handle something that is growing. It is really just growing at a rate that is faster than sometimes I can keep up with, but it is forcing me to really grow out of my comfort zone. And I have so many opportunities coming up that I really want to take. And in order for me to take these, I really have to start thinking like a business owner, like somebody who is really just in charge of everything. Where when I started this, it was smaller. It was a little bit easier to navigate. I didn't have to work so much using my skill of how to navigate things that are bigger than what I've ever had to handle. Especially even since before, like I've said, my previous career, I was a hairdresser. And when I was a hairdresser, I wasn't in a rental salon, I was in a commission salon. So I had a boss, I would go in, everything was kind of done for me, where my clientele was there, my books were there, appointments were booked. I just had to show up, do my job, and leave. Where this is very different. This is way more hands-on, but this is what I wanted to do. I actually enjoy being more hands-on and more kind of in control of what I'm doing. I also like the way that I'm learning, and I feel like I'm watching myself grow in a way that I just didn't really experience before. I didn't have to use my brain in that way, where I feel like I'm honestly getting more educated. And I feel like such a simple basic human need is feeling growth, feeling community, and feeling like you're prospering and learning at certain things. And when you don't do any of that, you feel stagnant, you feel stuck. And Sweetie Pies has really given me that. It's given me that push to further myself, and to even when I'm scared to do something, do it anyway. It's created so much more confidence in me, where before, even when you start a business, there's always gonna be, somebody saying like, is this really gonna work? Is this what you wanna do? Is this? And I really have to say, I have gained such confidence in myself, where when I have an idea, and even if somebody doesn't think it's a great idea, and not that they're wrong in that, everybody's kind of looking from their own perspective. But if I were really to listen to all of the negative ideas, I wouldn't have what I have. Sweetie Pies wouldn't be Sweetie Pies. It wouldn't have a business at all. So I think this really takes trust in yourself when you really know if you have something, if you want to do something. And of course, you know, bring yourself down to earth sometimes, because I can be so passionate about something where I'm like, you know what, this is going to work. There's going to be no downsides to it, which isn't true. There's, you know, there's an element of risk in all of this. So as long as you have that foundation and you say, you know what, you give yourself the pros and the cons of whatever you're doing, just keep going. Another thing that I experienced while having a business is having decision fatigue. There are so many different decisions you have to make, and it can be really stressful because you don't want to make the wrong one. The wrong one can sometimes, you know, set you back financially in different ways. And it's a big thing when you are doing this to not just create something that you love, but it's also your livelihood at the same time. So I think that's a tough part too, because I never wanted to be a salesman, but you kind of have to be when you're in business. I really just want to create a space for people to come and eat some good food and be happy. But the decision fatigue, when you have to make so many different decisions, your overthinking can kick in, and that could actually take you backwards, because when you don't make a decision, that's also a decision as well. So here's one way I like to look at it. And I actually shared this method that I use with one of my friends, and she kind of uses it too now to not stress herself out so much. It's that when you have two decisions in front of you, sometimes we think there's a wrong decision and a right decision, one that's going to be more beneficial and one could be a bit more beneficial. But at the end of the day, you have to look at both decisions and just see where life will take you with either one. Neither one is wrong and neither one is bad. It's just a different outcome. What is the outcome that you want? And when you kind of take the emotion out of it, it helps you be a little bit more constructive with everything. Where do I want this outcome or do I want that outcome? And if you really just put it on paper, look at things in more black and white, it helps you make that final decision where you can just make it, keep going, and move on. Because the worst thing is to get stuck in that decision fatigue. And that's what ends up having you fall back. You can get mentally exhausted. So that's something that I like to do. An example of that being used was when I was looking for my rental kitchen. I was moving out of my home into a rental kitchen, and I was looking at so many different kitchens, and the option for the Chocolate Studio came up, which is where I'm working at now. And it was tough. I didn't know what to do because being a home baker, you don't have any really overhead. Where, you know, obviously you have a rent or a mortgage, electric, whatever you're paying. But when you have a rental space, now you're adding on another rent on top of all of your living expenses. So that was the scariest part, where I didn't know if I could afford this. What is the outcome? What if it doesn't work? What if it does work? What do I do? And at first I was thinking so emotional into it and getting so stressed. And once I put it in black and white, okay, these are the outcomes. Which is the outcome that you want, and what happens if this outcome doesn't work? And when I was trying to make that decision, my worst case scenario was if it doesn't work, I go back to home baking, and I maybe have to go back to doing hair for a little bit, or I do my backups. I teach more yoga classes. So it's not like I wouldn't be able to keep going. I just wouldn't keep going with what I wanted to do. But at the end of the day, things happen. But I took the plunge, and it's going, and I'm growing, and I'm very grateful for that. And now I am working on getting more knowledgeable. I'm reading a book right now called The E-Myth, Why Small Businesses Don't Work and What to Do About It. And it's really good. The owner of Harpoon Hannah's in New Rochelle, a coffee shop that I do pop-ups up at, she told me to read it, and it is so relatable because the example that they give in the whole entire book is about a baker named Sarah who makes pies. And so I feel like I'm learning so much because that's who they're comparing everything to. I am just at the perfect point to read this book right now because it talks about what happens when you don't have correct systems in place in order for your business to thrive. And I'm at that point where I'm getting more orders than I can handle on some weekends. I've said no to a few orders, and I need help eventually, whether it's a driver or an assistant or somebody to work my markets, something. So I'm getting into that overwhelming point where I have all of these messages coming up, and maybe I don't get to customers that day. I get back to them the next day, where I used to be on point because I wasn't so flooded with everything. But these are good problems to have, really good problems to have. And I'm excited to see how I learn more and how I navigate through all of this, because it could really just go up from here. So I'm trying to kind of just grasp onto that and make sure I savor every moment. I'm just at a time right now where I cannot let fear or negative thoughts get in the way. I have to be fully confident in what I'm doing and know for myself that I'm gonna learn how to get through this. I'm gonna make mistakes and that's okay. And everything's going to be good. So yeah, that's my mindset right now. Trusting myself. And also another big thing that I do is if you are a business owner or just anybody, if you have a dream to do something and you don't know where to start, reach out to somebody who's already doing what you're doing. That is something so big. So I reach out to other chefs, bakers, business owners all the time because they've done it. You know, recently I did get an offer that is a little bit bigger than what I can handle, but I want to take it. And I am learning how to navigate, how to take it. And the first thing I did was, you know, call my mom or call somebody else. And when I was asking for advice, it sounded like a lot. And I was like, oh, I don't know, this might be a little too much. I don't know if I should take this. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna call somebody who I know this would not be a big deal to. So there's a big restaurant in Greenwich, Connecticut. And I called the owner, or I texted the owner. I was like, hey, can we hop on a phone call? And she called me right away. And when I told her about the offer, she was like, oh, this is a no-brainer. Like, she didn't even bat an eye. So you have to talk to people where your dreams may look big to you, but somebody who's already there or exceeded that, it's going to look like nothing. And it makes you feel more confident. And it makes you feel like, why did I think this was such a big deal? So if you think about anything that you're going for, it looks big at the moment, but always look at the people who have been down that road already. And it helps so much with advice and confidence and understanding what you need to do, and ask all the questions. Hey, how do I do this? And they already know the steps, and they help you get there. And that business owner's name is Dana Safone. She is the owner of Townhouse in Greenwich. It's a big, beautiful restaurant. I met her when I went to a networking event, and she's really, really nice. And that's the one thing I love about this industry. I have found, I feel like everybody has been so nice, so helpful. People just want to give you advice, and everybody just wants to feed each other. And not just knowledge wise, but like actually feed each other, because everybody's in the food industry, and every time I go to a market or an event, everybody's just kind of like handing me food, and I hand people food, and it's fun. I really like it, and I like to eat. And if you like to eat and you like people and you like to have fun, this is a great industry to be in. For me, that's the experience that I've had so far. I have heard other experiences that people have had not so great experiences in the food industry. I think I'm also very new into it too, so everything is just very new and exciting. So yeah, I can be wrong, but I like it. And that's all I have for today. If you watched the end of this video, I want to thank you so much for being here. If anybody ever has any questions, please ask them, because I really enjoy making these videos. I enjoy kind of showing the scenes of what the everyday is like going into my life and my new career that I'm embarking on. And I want to film more. It's really hard on busy days to film everything and edit everything. It takes a lot of time. I give content creators a lot of credit because it takes so much time. One of my favorite content creators, I would say, on YouTube is a YouTube called Trout and Coffee. Kyle Findempsey. He has a girlfriend named Allie Marie Brown. She has a YouTube as well now, ever since they've been dating. And their cinematography is just fantastic, and their storytelling, definitely check them out. I started watching Trout and Coffee years ago, and I feel like it has such a positive impact on my curiosity for taking photos and taking videos. And so yeah, definitely check them out. It's definitely something that is always playing on the background when I'm home. If I'm not doing anything, or if I'm just working in my kitchen, like cleaning or anything, it's usually on the background because the videos are very peaceful. And yeah, so definitely check them out. Thank you so much for watching this, and I will see you all next time.